It started off sweet and ended in smoke. It started off sweet. I've been in some situations where it seemed great, it seemed sweet, it was a beautiful situation. It appeared that way. It seemed sweet, but it ended in smoke. And that's what we talked about on last week here on Sweet Fire, the podcast, how it started off sweet. That relationship started off sweet, but then it ended in smoke. We also shared about how the attraction, as you know, our mantra here is how to survive the flame when what attracts you burns, how to survive the flame again when what attracts you burns, and how that attraction that attraction actually hijacks our senses, our eyes, what we see. It hijacks our senses, our smell, our nose, how it, we like things to smell. So we like people who smell good. It's attracting, it's luring. Those smells, those touches, the taste, even it's alluring. It lures us in. It's like magnetic. A lot of times we feel like they're irresistible. So we're going to jump in here and talk a little bit more about how to avoid creeping back to that burning building. Remember, last week we said that the burning building is really a metaphor for a relationship that really is not purposeful, a relationship that really wasn't intended for your life, a relationship that really caused you some trauma, some drama, some trouble, and some affliction, and some heartache, and some pain in your life. We want to talk about it. This is, again, Sweet Fire, the podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Lydia Michelle Young, here with my co-host, Intercessor Janine Nicole. Today is Wednesday. It is the middle of the week. This is a midweek word to refresh you, a midweek word to remind you of your worth. So come on, Intercessor, jump in and greet the people. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Good evening, everyone. I like how you ended that refreshing fire, middle of the week word to remind you of your worth. I like that. Yeah, to remind you of your worth. And that's the key. That's the key with, avoiding returning to the burning building. That's the key on avoiding running back. That's the key on avoiding looking back. That's the key to move forward, to press ahead. Is coming to know your worth.
Yes.
So good evening once again, everyone. Looking forward to diving in, continuing from last week with the topic on this evening.
Yeah, that's it. I want to go back. I'm not going back to the burning building, but I want to go back to how we ended last week to remind you of your worth. And some power words came directed to you to remind you, the listener, of your worth, that you are amazing. Come on, help me. You're amazing. Yes. You're powerful. Yes. You're unique.
Yeah, and wonderfully made. You're strong. You're intelligent. You're beautiful inside and out.
You're one of a kind. There is nobody like you. There is no one that can do what you can do but you.
Right.
My goodness. So you have a capacity, you have an ability, you have a fire on your life that we talked about that in Sunday morning that goes beyond just your household. It goes beyond barriers. It goes beyond your state, your city, your block. It goes beyond what's on you, who you are. Your true identity is so unique. It's so phenomenal. It's so amazing. I really don't even have the words in my vocabulary to express to you how beautiful, how unique you are. I'm talking to both men and women. I'm talking to young people. I'm talking to everybody tuning in to the, and you can share this word with somebody that who you know, who may be feeling a little down, who may be discouraged, who may have low self-esteem, who may be troubled, who may be really struggling with identifying who they are. Why don't you text them and let them know you are powerful, and everything in your life is going to work out, because you will come to know your worth. And so we want to avoid creeping back to that burning building, that relationship that caused us pain. And we want to share on how to save your feelings. Don't creep back. If it was toxic, don't creep back. If you were abused, don't go back. You talked about it. Don't look back. Those are words you just spoke, intercessor. Don't look back. Sometimes, even in my life, in relationships that I had no business being in, I looked back. I wanted to look one more time. I wanted to talk one more time. I wanted to have that visitation one last time. You ever spoke those words? Anyone listening? You ever said that? Yeah. Oh, just one more time.
One more time.
Let's do it one more time. One more time. There's a danger in that one more time. Come on, Jennifer.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a danger in that one more time. And I'm glad that you touched on that, because those emotions, like those one more time thoughts, those one more time, feelings, those are traps. Those are traps. And oftentimes they're deadly traps. Right. We talked about it even before coming on this evening. You said how many people, they had that, that thought of one more time, and they went back. They went back to that burning building, and it was literally their last time. They didn't make it out of that burning building. Why? Because they went back to an abusive relationship. They went back to that drug. They went back to that alcohol. They went back to that neighborhood. They went back to that community. They went back to the toxicity. And a lot of times those emotions, those thoughts, people, they are traps. They are traps. And when we entertain, when we go, into those traps, when we go into those danger zones, we are trespassing. When we go into those danger zones, we are trespassing.
I like that.
I
like that thought. Yeah, trespassing. Actually, right. When we go back, when we push the rewind button, when we backtrack, when we go back, we actually leave from up under the covering. We leave from out of our rightful territory. Now we're on, oh my goodness, now we're on dangerous ground. Right. Because we've crept back. And many of us at one point or another have crept back and to that burning building, to that toxic relationship, to that abusive man or that abusive woman. We crept back. We went back for one more taste, one more touch. Oh my goodness, one more, lie, because it's deception there. Some of us survived. We made it out of the burning building. Right. But many have lost their lives because they went back to that burning building. And today, again, it's about how to share with you thoughts and steps on how to save your feelings. When a person's feelings get crushed, man, there's suicidal ideation creeps in. There's a deep depression that's hard to fight. Save your life, save your soul. Come on, intercessor, get on in there.
Save your life, save your, remembering how it feels, rehearsing those feel-good memories, rehearsing those feel-good thoughts. Those are mental traps to intoxicate you. Those are mental traps to intoxicate you, because when you stay on those thoughts too long, you become so intoxicated with remembering the touch. You become so intoxicated with remembering how that drug makes you feel. You become so intoxicated with remembering how that drink made you feel. It's those mental entrapments, those mental thoughts we have to overcome, because a lot of times those toxic relationships, that many of us can attest to who have been in our past. A lot of times those toxic relationships, that one that we were in that relationship with, they're not thinking about us like that. They're not picking up the phone to try to reach out to us. So why do we reach out to them? Why do we, cross the line, if you will, and reach out to them? Because we entertain those thoughts,
Right.
and we allow ourselves to become drunk behind those thoughts, drunk behind those emotions, drunk behind those memories.
I like that. I like that.
We got to stop entertaining those things. Because that is what causes us to look back. That's what causes us to go back to that burning building.
Right.
If we stop entertaining those thoughts, stop rehearsing those memories, we will find ourselves moving forward, moving ahead, which is the direction we're supposed to be going.
Right. Looking forward, moving forward, and never looking back.
Yeah.
And then hence the word toxic, intoxication. Toxic intoxication. You can have a toxic relationship, not just with a mate that you're intimate with.
Right.
A toxic relationship, parent and a son, a mother and a son, a father and a daughter.
Yes.
So-called friends.
Right.
Toxic intoxication, where you lose control.
Yeah.
You no longer have the proper thinking capacity to operate, to function adequately. You lose control when you're intoxicated. Intoxication simply means to be poisoned.
Right.
Intoxication is poison. So don't poison yourself. Get rid of the poison. If you have to cry to get rid of the toxins in your body, shed those tears. Do what's necessary to make the exit from that burning building. Set boundaries. Say no and stick to it.
I like how you said don't poison yourself.
Don't poison yourself.
Don't poison yourself. And a lot of times that's what we're doing.
Exactly.
When we're doing something that we know we should not be doing, when we're, places that we know we should not be in, when we're in those relationships. And again, I'm glad you highlighted, toxic relationships are not just intimate relationships. Toxic relationships can be with people who you think are supposed to be your friend, who you think supposed to be a divine connection.
Right.
Toxic relationships between parent and children. Toxic relationships in the family. Toxic relationships in the workplace. When we are interacting with those, when we are involving ourselves with that toxicity, we are doing self-poison.
Right.
We are poisoning ourselves.
Right.
We are poisoning ourselves.
And we lose when we're intoxicated because of that person, their vibe, their swag, their look, their smell, their voice, their touch,
their so-called intellect,
the taste, the intellect, the money, whatever it is about that person, that individual. When we intoxicate ourselves, when we pour in the poison on the inside of us, poison our thought process, poison our heart, our feelings, our emotions, that poison is deadly.
Yes.
It's a deadly poison. It's just a matter of time.
Right.
It's just a matter of time before everything goes up in smoke.
Right.
It started off sweet. It ended in smoke. And many can't sit here and testify to it or be a witness. If the grave could cry out.
Right.
And say, wake up. Don't go there. Get out now. Get out while you can. I've been fortunate to escape some things. There's some things that took place in my life. I didn't even know the relationship was toxic. Just a gentleman, I'm just going to use one example that I knew, and was he attractive? Yes. Was I attracted? Yes. But it wasn't, I had some ulterior motives.
Right.
I wanted to get high. I wanted to drink. I wanted to party. Right. But he had something going on in his mind. And I wasn't operating with discernment at that time. Right. I had lost control. I had lost control. When we lose control, we lose direction. When we lose control, we lose focus. When we lose control, we lose our sense of our sense of worth, our sense of value. We lose control.
Mhm.
We're not in control.
Right.
Those feelings are in control. We're not in control.
Mhm.
Those thoughts, like you said, when you rehearse those thoughts, that's what's in control. It's the enemy of your soul who's in control.
Mhm.
And so there's some things that took place in my life, even behind closed doors. Why?
Mhm.
Because I lost control.
Right.
I was poisoned. I poisoned myself.
Mhm.
It was a deadly situation, but I survived it. I never turned back. Once I'm gonna tell you, once the Lord gave me an escape, you see, that's the thing. You have to plan your exit.
Right.
You have to plan your exit.
Mhm. Mhm.
Keep it between you and don't tell everybody, but plan your exit. Come on.
Yeah,
Come on.
absolutely. And when we,
Oh my goodness.
when we find ourselves in any toxic relationships of any sort,
Mm-hmm.
when we find ourselves in any sort of toxic relationship,
Mm-hmm.
that's the time to examine ourselves. That's the time to look within ourselves, because what is it in us that shouldn't be in us, because toxicity is attracted to toxicity. And we, when we get involved in those types of relationships, there's something missing in us.
Mm-hmm.
We're not valuing ourselves. We're not loving ourselves. We stand in need of healing in some areas.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people who are addicted to drugs, people who are addicted to alcohol, the vast majority of them, they don't want to be.
Mm-hmm. That's the truth.
The vast majority of them do not want to be. People who are in abusive relationships, emotional, physical abusive relationships, a lot of them, they don't want to be in that.
Yeah, they want out.
They want out. They don't like, fearing whether or not they're going to wake up and, get beat on. They want out.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something, that's keeping them connected to that toxicity, because there's something on the inside of them that, they're not valuing, they're not awakened to.
Yeah, their worth.
Their worth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the times to really look within and do an examination. And that's, on last week, we talked about it. Getting off by ourselves, becoming comfortable with spending time by ourselves, so that we can heal, so that we can begin to learn our worth, so that we can begin to see our value, so that we can, learn how to love on our own selves.
Right.
And stop looking for validation from another.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when we're looking for validation from another who doesn't even value their own self.
Mm-hmm. And you said something about toxicity. The toxins, the poison attracts poison. Poison, toxicity attracts toxicity.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Misery Loves Company.
Right.
Misery Loves Company.
Right.
Another thing, point that you brought out that's very significant. We were talking about planning your exit.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get there. Planning your exit, planning your way out of that situation, and not allowing. This is what came to me. So what happens is, in those types of relationships, when you stay, because you don't know your worth or your value, when you stay, a lot of times it's because you've been lied to.
Yes.
Nobody wants you.
Right.
Don't nobody love you. Ain't nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody will love you like I do.
Right.
You ain't nothing. I'm the one that made you. That's a lie. Mm-hmm. It's a lie. It's deception. It is. Can I just use the word spirit? It's the spirit of deception. There's a force behind the eyes that look at you and mesmerize you. There's a force behind the voice. There's a force behind the touch. There's a force behind it. And it's evil. It means you no good. So it's critical. It's of the essence that you understand who you are and know that you are worth it. To plan your exit, plan your escape, if you will, because many are being held against their will.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. It's sad. These are some of the things that we talk about, we explore, and I'm gonna say this: we pray and cover people in these areas. But plan your exit. I'm gonna say it again: plan your exit. You don't need to talk about it. Just plan your exit. Find your why.
Yes.
Your reason to leave so you can live.
Right.
Find your why. Find your reason to leave so you can live. Because as long as you're in it, it's impossible to heal.
Right.
As long as you're in it, it's impossible to really get a grasp or get control of your own life. Get control. Take control. Take it back. Take your life back. Take your control back.
Right.
Well, you have anything?
Yeah. As we prepare to close, use your fire extinguisher. Use your fire extinguisher to put it out. And what is your fire extinguisher? Identifying your strengths. That's your fire extinguisher. Start identifying your own strengths. Because again, like, this episode opened, you are valuable. You are worth it. You are intelligent. You are intellectual. You are smart. You are powerful. You are amazing. You are worth your investment in you. Start using your fire extinguisher to put out that burning building, because that burning building means you no good. That burning building is in place to take you out. That burning building is in place because that burning building does not want to see you successful. You are worth your love. You are worth you. Use your fire extinguisher and exercise your strengths.
That's it. Exercise your strength. You're worth it. You're worth it. And we got your back. And with that being said, peace be to you. Peace be to your house. And peace be to all